It's very strange for me when I am watching my father's play. As when I was a kid, I used to watch all the time. Like I was almost. Can you hear? It's okay.
I can hear, but the camera can hear.
Okay. So it's very strange for me to see the. Is okay? Can you get it? The time lapse different because the theater, it's like a temple. There is a magic in the theater that the cinema cannot reproduce. What we call the intensity, dramatic intensity that you have. And my father had this gift that he could suspend with the eyes. He had this emotion, the dramatic intensity. And it was in the theater, it was like 2,000 people. You could not hear a fly. It was a silence, complete. And he cultivated his audience. He was a real magician. He had this tremendous presence, yes? And this, you cannot see it when you watch on the movies. Unfortunately, in those days, you could not film also, and there is nobody who really had been able to, like we do now, we have great technology in a camera. And in those days, we didn't have. So we could not catch the essence of the dramatic intensity he had on stage, you know. And it's a bit sad. You know, it's like, my father's guru, I will say, was Charles Chaplin. He used to go watch all his movies, and even now, Charles Chaplin, who is going to see Charles Chaplin? I mean, when I was a kid, we were still looking Charles Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Laurel and Hardy. All this is like, it's going so fast now. The time is very changing, this. And what my father had, he had this understanding of the sacrality of the gesture. And when he went to India, he was very impressed by the Kathakali, and the Kathakali was a very spiritual technique of dance with mudra that express the stories of the Mahabharata, which is a very ancient. We could compare to l'Iliade et l'Odyssée, in the Greek culture, but in the Hindu, Mahabharata is like even more. I mean, it's a very huge, it's the biggest epic was ever been written. And my father was fascinated by this sacrality that the Asian people had, because each culture, like the Latin culture, is a culture of the verb, yes? And the Asian culture is a mudra, is a gesture. And the Chinese is ideogram. And this, my father had this, how can I say, understanding of this universality. With a gesture, he could project what probably, you could not say with words. So that was his strength. In those days, he could travel all over the world. I mean, like when you think about it, Russia was communist, China, and even there he was going. There was no borders for him. He was completely universal, accepted by all. And when I was a kid, what I remember, it was always full house. The theater was always full. He came to America for the first time in New York. He was going for 2 weeks, and he stayed 6 months on Broadway, full house. And every night, standing ovation. Like everybody standing. Like really, he has been very blessed as an artist to have received so much, recognition, yes, for the public. So, yes, that's what I like to talk about him. What I'm doing is very different, is yoga, but my father, when he was looking at me doing this practice, he liked very much. There are many things similar with yoga and the mime, in the sense of the identification with the animal realm. My dad used to tell me, and I kept this, it impressed me. He told me, wild animal has natural grace, but humans, you need a discipline to have this grace, because the Hindus understood that we lost this grace from the mind, mind stuff, because we're taking too much and not very trivial things. The animals have very much more, they have a different type of intelligence. They are more intuitive. So they're more like in touch with nature. They're connected with the natural realm, and so the yoga, it's about this. And in nature, my father tried to imitate the animals, the water, the elements, but as an artist, he was to show. The yoga is more internal, it's not to show in public. It's a very big difference, of course. It's no compare with this. It's just that we use the body. Yoga uses the body as a tool to be able to reach a certain level of understanding and consciousness. And the art of mime, I guess also because the art form is, for my father, he was telling me it's the only thing that man is leaving behind him, So it's a way for him, he believed that art could transform humanity, to transcend humanity, to help humanity to be better. He was very much a humanist, yes. And so, but he had a little problem with, because he was a humanist, so he didn't believe, he had no belief system, so this thing about accepting that once you're gone, and you go back to the cosmic consciousness was a bit difficult for him to accept. And this happened to many artists in those days, like Picasso and many others, because when you don't believe in that there is, that you are just part of this cosmic consciousness, we identified with the me as a person. And the Asian people, the Oriental, like in the yoga, we accept that the individual consciousness is just an illusion. And once you are gone, you go back to the infinite. I mean, you go back to the cosmic world, and that's it. And so we don't identify with the name and the form like it is happening in the Greek Western culture. We are more narcissistic culture. We very much identified with name and form, so it's very hard to accept for us in our culture old age, growing older. And in the yoga, we understand about that. That's why we practice, because we want to age gracefully. So, but this is another theme. I mean, it's not anymore about my father, but that's probably why I guess I didn't want to become an actor. I'd rather become a yogi, for this reason. That's all. Thank you.